Okay, in this video, I've even got a prop for you. I want to share a concept with you that I learned many years ago, and it completely, and I mean, the first time I heard it was so simple, completely changed my life. And this is something that I teach to all of my students, and every one of them will say that this is the foundation of their transformation, their performance, and creating new things in life, a better life. And it's a concept called have, do, be. There's two parts to this, and I'll give you both parts. But most people work from, and I used to work from the same place, and let me share with you right here, have, do, be is a broken strategy. Now let me explain this to you. Have, do, be is, you know what? If I have or I had something, then I could do something. And if I could do something, then I could be something. Now let me break that down for you even farther. Let's say, for example, and you can just apply your own life here, but let me give you an example here. Let's say that you are an online marketer, you have an online business, a coach, a program, but it doesn't matter. This applies to anything for the most part, your health, your wellness, everything. People will say, you know what, if I have or I had money. If I had money, then what I could do is I could hire a web designer, Facebook ad person, a copywriter, whatever. If I have or had money, then I could actually do something. And if I do something, which if I have first and then I do something, then you know what? Then I can be, which is what people want, is I can be successful. A couple of minutes ago, and by the way, this will keep you trapped and wandering and seeking for your entire life. I guarantee it because I've worked from the same broken strategy. It does not work. When I say the word strategy, that also to me means a mental sequence of steps that we work through. This is a broken strategy, and let me show you why when you work this strategy, which most of you probably do until now, when you work this strategy, you keep repeating the same broken strategy over and over and over again. So let's say, for example, and I'm just going to give you a personal example here with all of my coaching and training. The program actually, generally we sell out every single time, but people will email me or they'll contact me and they'll say, you know what, Jim, I really want to be in your identity transformation programs. However, I don't have the money. What they're not even recognizing is they don't have the money because they don't have the identity of a person that would even have the money. So then what they do next is they say, you know what, Jim, I really want to be in your programs, but I don't have the money. So because they don't have the money, they don't enroll in the program. And because they don't enroll in the program, they don't become a new identity. They don't become someone else who attracts money, which means they stay trapped year 1, year 2, year 3, year 4, year 10, and year 20 right here. This is a broken strategy. And when I started this video, I said, you know what? I used to work this very same strategy. And I didn't start making millions of dollars per year until I started working from who do I have to be. What I talk to my students about is success is not about ways of doing. Success is about ways of being. So I'm asking you, how are you being? Because many times, right, and being is characteristics. And many times when you're working from here, you are being fearful. I'm fearful that, you know what, if I invest this money in this, that, or the other, I won't have it. If I invest this money in Facebook ads, or invest this money in a website, or invest this money in further education, or whatever it is, if I invest it, then I won't have it later because I'm operating from fear and operating from scarcity. So I think you see by looking at this, broken strategy. And when I flip this over, hopefully my chart doesn't flip over. We're gonna have a blooper here. So let me go here. This is the strategy that works. Be, do, have. You may want to write this down if you're not driving. But this is what I tell all of my students is where we want to start working from ways of being. So what ways, and by the way, you hear me say in every video, I use the words conscious transformer. Now you're becoming conscious of this and you can transform your life with this. So you want to ask yourself is what ways? Because let me back up and go here first. There are things that you want to have in life. What most of you want, for the most part, and I'm going to be generic about this, is you want however you define success. You want to have success. You want to have money. But if you look at the last chart, the last page, most people, what they try to do is they try to do things to have this, not recognizing that who do I have to be to do, to ultimately have. One of my coaches once said to me a very powerful phrase, and I want to share this with you. He says that you're doing what you do is only as effective as the being that you're being. Now, you may be wondering, well, how do I be? Well, depends on what you want to create. I mean, if you want to be, let's say you're not healthy and you want to be really healthy. What most people try to do is they try to go do something to be healthy because they want to have good health, but they never look at what ways am I being. So what ways would you need to be, what characteristic, what psychological characteristic and ways of being would you need to be to do what you need to do to have what you want to have? We'll do two examples here. One could be health and wellness, all right? So what would be ways of being? Let's say you're not in shape, you're not fit, and you want to be. What would be a way of being that would enhance your doing so that you can have a great body or healthy body or whatever you want? Well, a way of being, which is missing for a lot of people, it's a characteristic missing, and that's not a judgment, it's because we just learn this in the world. We live in a world of mediocrity. I'm going to just be candid with you. So we don't learn the things that you're learning here. I didn't as a kid. So a way that you could be, if you want to create a great body, a way that you could be would be committed. So you think about that. Many times you've started working out in the past and you start to do something, but you fall off track very quickly. Why? Because you're not committed. So if I were coaching you one-to-one, what we would look at is what is your level of commitment, and we need to develop that and strengthen that, because your commitment is the way of being that will determine what you do, which will actually ultimately influence what you have. The model you work from, and I'm being repetitive because repetition is the mother of all learning, be, do, have. This is a strategy that works. Let's say you want to be successful in business. Same thing like the working out. Most people try to do things. Broken strategy. What I look at is what ways, and I've looked at in my own life. For example, you've heard me maybe say, I don't know which videos you've watched or how many, but I'm sitting in my home in Sedona, Arizona. It's a 7-figure home. Just bought it. It's a second home. I didn't create this home as a result of what I was doing per se. What I did is I created this home as a result of who I was being, because who I was being influenced what I did in business, and what I did influenced what I have and what I had. So as I said earlier, I'm being repetitive for a reason, as I said earlier, that success is not a matter of doing. It's not. It's predominantly a matter of characteristics. So what you want to look at is what characteristics, ways of being would serve you well so that you can do everything that you choose to do to have everything that you want to have. This here is what I call like a master strategy for success, because when I showed you the first one, which was backwards, which is have, do, be, I guarantee you probably 90% of you watching this video, you are working from have and had. Well, if I had it, then I would do it and then I could ultimately be successful. But if you're not where you want to be right now, plain and simple, if you're not where you want to be, it's because you're working from here first, and that is broken. Here's where we work from. So what I'm going to leave you with in this video is I want you to start thinking about this. Number one, what do I want to have? What do you want to create? The great body, the home, the car, whatever. It's, it's personal and different for all of us. Next, I want you to go back to, and this is your foundation, what characteristics and ways of being must I be consistently to have what I want? Okay, you hear me say it on every video, or you see me say it on every video. I want to dig deeper. We've only got so much time here. I want to dig deeper with you, and I've created a podcast episode. So click the link somewhere here in the video, and I'll catch you over on that podcast.